Hello, lovely people, and welcome to a solo episode of The Wellness Way with me, Philly J. Lay. And this is an extra episode today because I've got something really exciting to tell you. I am launching my Rumble and my Telegram channels. And why am I launching a Rumble channel? Well, I have been deplatformed. I am shadow banned like nothing on earth. I've just had a 7-day ban on YouTube for something that wasn't even published. It was just held in the YouTube cloud. And so I've decided that it's time to start a Rumble where I can talk freely and honestly and openly. It's very hard for natural health practitioners and people who are standing up against the norm to have a voice at the moment and to get information out. But Rumble is a place that we still have the opportunity to do that. There is so much that you can do for your health, so incredibly much. And there is so much that you can do for your health, so incredibly much. Just look at what I have done over the last 8 years. I barely recognize that woman who didn't really leave her bed for 2 years and just cried, really. And I suffered from post-traumatic stress disorder, addicted to opioids and alcohol, and loads of autoimmune diseases, and suffering from grief until I found the tumor in my throat. And that's when I had to go and see my doctor. And because I ended up seeing 4 consultants in 4 days and asking them if everything was connected and them saying they didn't know, I decided to go on my own journey and heal naturally. And I've done a remarkably good job, even though I say so myself. And I just want to share as much of my journey with as many of you as I possibly can, and have the freedom to speak my truth, what I did. So that's why today I'm starting my Rumble channel. So please consider coming along and joining me, supporting my work, so that I can get this information out to you. It takes a lot of time, and this has become a full-time job for which I am extremely grateful that so many of you do want to listen to what I've got to say. But I'm not going to stop, no matter how much deplatforming and shadow banning there is. I'm not going to stop, because I really want to get this information out. So if you choose to do something to change your life and your health, it can be your choice to do so, that you've got that information. Oh, it has been one hell of a first 5 months on the podcast, and I have had some truly astonishing guests on, mind-blowing interviews with people like doctors Sam White and Sarah Myhill, who was taken to court by the General Medical Council 38 times for not prescribing enough medicine. But as she says in the podcast, Dr. Sarah Myhill, 38, General Medical Council, 0. And the reason for that was that not one of her patients would go to court against her, because she had taught them how to transform their lives. Sorry to interrupt this episode, but if you're enjoying this podcast and you'd like to find out more about my work, please come and join me on my webpage, phillyjlay.com, where I can give you all the up-to-date information of what I'm doing. You will get a free exclusive walking into your future meditation. I'm a shit hot manifestor, me. You can find out how to buy my book, The Natural Wellness Journal, a layperson's guide to your natural health systems, your very own NHS. We all have them. Let's use them. I look forward to seeing you there and introducing you to my new Rumble channel. Yes, I'm going to Rumble, where we will have freedom of speech and my guests can talk about anything they want to. Thank you. I'll see you there. So there is so much information that we need to learn, but many doctors, well, all doctors really, are not allowed to teach it to you. So there are a few that are absolutely doing so, and most of them will be on my podcast. My first completely uncensored Rumble video will be with the wonderful Dr. Bradley Campbell. He has been deplatformed 3 or 4 times. I can't remember. You'll have to watch the episode, which is coming out on Monday. But he's been deplatformed for speaking his truth and what he has learnt as a practitioner. And he has just phenomenal information. So really, really check that out next week. I have the amazing Dr. Bruce Lipton, the father of epigenetics, a man who, reading his book, The Biology of Belief, completely transformed my life and my knowledge to know how I could heal. And I was privileged enough to go and train with him for 2 days in London this summer. And he's the most wonderful man. And when I asked him to come on the podcast, he said, I'd love to be on your podcast. So I filmed a quick TikTok of that and got it out to his team. And they went, yeah, absolutely. So as I said in that video, I am a shit hot manifester. Another person I've got coming up on the podcast is a Dr. Aseem Malhotra. He is a top cardiologist in the UK. And he was one of the first doctors to go on television, British television, and tell people to have the injection. And then very tragically, through doing that, he paid the highest price you could ever pay, and he lost his father very shortly afterwards, a very healthy 73-year-old man. And he then went on a journey to discover that his truth, the truth about what was in the injection. And he has been very vocal and stood up since he published his papers. So that is a very poignant and moving episode. So I do hope that you will check into that. But, you know, he has been very ostracized by doing this. And it's incredibly sad when doctors can't question the medical paradigm that we live in, and they can't question the research and who funds it, more importantly, and then why it's lobbied so hard to government, and why we have no control over what these people give us. For example, a perfect example of this is the 1939 Cancer Act, which prohibited doctors from treating us with anything other than cut and burn for cancer. But there is so much that you can do. And if you choose to go down that route, there is an awful lot you can do to support yourself on it. If you have been down that route, there is so much you can do to rebuild your immune system because, you know, chemotherapy, like antibiotics, are like a nuclear bomb in the gut. And you've got to rebuild that gut system so that your body can keep going forward and keep healing. But there is so much you can do. There is a brilliant book called Radical Remissions by Kelly A. Turner, PhD, and it covers this in great depths. And she has a new book out as well, following on from that. I really must write to her and ask her on the podcast, actually, because again, that was a book that I found quite astonishing when I discovered the tumor in my throat. There are many ways to heal yourself, and you should be allowed to choose what you would like to do if you wish so. But do know that Mother Nature and our mind, the power of the mind, is extraordinary. You know, we've talked on this podcast before about the placebo effect and how powerful it is. And Dr. Bruce Lipton will talk about that too. But there is also something called the nocebo effect, when somebody in power tells you that something bad is going to happen to you, that you might die if you don't do this, and your body reacts to that. Every emotion is held in your body, but remember that your mind and Mother Nature gives you absolutely everything that you need to protect yourself. And we seem to have forgotten that. We kind of think, well, as Dr. Sarah Myhill said on the podcast, that there is a pill for each ill. And that's where we have been programmed to go. We've been programmed to go to a doctor and go, what tablet do I need? What medicine do I need? And this is very true when you think of the amount of people that have, a bit of a sore throat and they want antibiotics. And we're becoming antibiotic resistant, and well, a lot of people are, and we're getting superbugs. And all you have to do is have a gargle with what we call in our family a granny kishon, which is basically cinnamon, which I've soaked in brandy. I have it soaking all year round and keep filling it up, honey and lemon. And the fantastic Niraj Naik from Soma Breath, who was also known as the renegade pharmacist. He talks about that on our podcast together. And yeah, he got fired from being a pharmacist for teaching people how to make basically, kind of something like Benylin, but without the shitloads of sugar in it. And that's a great conversation. So please do go and check that one out. And remember that everything happens in your body for a reason. It happens for you. It doesn't actually happen to you. And I know that that's really, really frustrating to hear when you're in pain. And I know I didn't take it very well when I got told that. And it is so much easier to go and grab a tablet or a painkiller. And very often those will work as a placebo effect. You've had something and you go, okay, so now I'm getting better. But there's signals coming up in your body when you're ill. They're just little signals going, okay, something's not right here. Something's going on. Can we just slow down a bit? Can we just check it out and find out what's going on? It might be food. It might be environment. It's in my belief system in metaconsciousness. It is actually to do with an emotion as well. And I've got a great podcast up, two great podcasts up with the two top, well, Penny Kroll, who founded Metaconsciousness, and Sam Neffendorf, who is a grandmaster trainer in metaconsciousness. So if you want to know about how the emotions are tied into illnesses with the body, do please go and check out those podcasts as well. As I said, it's been a very, very busy 5 months, and I've just loved every moment of it. It might be something in your food. And let's face it, we live in a toxic world. And I cover this one in great depth with the fantastic Catherine McBean, who founded the People's Health Alliance and the People's Food and Farming Alliance. And we are a group of people that have come together, and we are working as a community now in natural health rather than individual practitioners, so that we can support each other. And we are in the darling buds of May of building health hubs around, well, it was meant to be the UK, but there are quite a few opening globally. So if you're listening to this in other countries in the world, come and find us on Telegram, the People's Health Alliance, and come and start your own and see how we can build that community. And Catherine shares all her knowledge from working actually in the food industry and how toxic it was. And she's trying to make time in her incredibly busy schedule to come and do a Rumble special with me on dishing the real dirt, because obviously on the podcasts that go out at the moment, we are being very careful not to get taken down. But the people coming on the podcast are all very, very willing to share the information that they have learned. Obviously, there are some great practitioners who I would love to interview, and they're not ready to come on yet. And that's completely understandable, because they are worried about being deplatformed, taken away from people that they're supporting. And I completely respect and understand that. I had a conversation with Dr. John Gray on this after we finished filming our podcast, and that is a cracking podcast as well. That upset a lot of people with his belief systems, especially on orgasms and the clitoris and vibrators. That caused a lot of furore and got me my first 1 million views on TikTok. And then TikTok took the sound off it. But anyway, after we'd finished filming, he was talking about the cancer culture, and he was cancelled at the height of his fame, actually, because he stood up against something that he believed was a lie. And for that reason, even though he was selling 1 million copies a year of Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus, and had previously been on Oprah and Dr. Oz and all the big shows in America, all of a sudden everything stopped. Shadow banned, cancel culture. And this is quite frightening that we live in this world. And another very good reason why I'm going across to Rumble. So, my free gift for you joining me in my Rumble community is an extraordinary interview with Dr. Sam White and the actor Sean J. Ward. This is actually the video that I got my ban on YouTube for, and it wasn't even published, but it is a fantastic video. They have both lost a huge amount since 2020. They've lost their careers, their reputations, and for Sean, he completely lost his livelihood, his home, absolutely everything. So please consider going and supporting Sean J. Ward on his Patreon channel, as he's got a lot of fantastic information to get out. And he's been a real eye-opener for me over the last 3 years. And when you start learning all of this stuff, you realize the incredible connections between big business, big government, big tech, everything really. And it's a bit of a rabbit hole, I'm not going to lie. But on my Rumble channel, I will be doing lots of wacky little videos for you. Everything on how to detox, which obviously I'll cover in the podcast as well, because it's an incredibly important thing to do. I will be teaching you how to emotionally detox, which I believe is even more important. How to grow food. You'll even one day come and join me as I have a massage, and we will talk through the benefits of a massage, which are also quite extraordinary. There is so much you can do, and if you can't afford a massage, I completely respect that. So massage yourself, which I do on a regular basis. I try and do it every day. Just put some beautiful essential organic oils on me and massage and get my lymph loo flushed out every morning. And on that note, I have a great chat with Dr. Perry Nicholson from Stop Chasing Pain on that, the lymph doctor. Marvelous man. So go and check that out. Check out any of these things that I'm talking about if they interest you. And if they don't, then don't bother. But on my Rumble channel, I will be doing proper Billy's Kitchen videos. So don't worry. I know a lot of you join me at 1 o'clock Sunday lunchtimes on TikTok and Instagram, where I do my Phyllis Kitchen live, and those will absolutely continue. But I spend a lot of the time answering questions, and we have a laugh, and they're really good fun, and I'm so grateful for that community. But with the Rumble channel, I'm going to build another community alongside you. I hope many of you come and join me there. And as I progress and as I get a bit bigger, we'll start doing Q&A sessions and setting up Zooms so we can actually all get to know each other properly, because I know you all by name, but so few of you by face. So it will be lovely, absolutely lovely to do that and build my community. And I'm just so grateful that you people rock up for me every week. It is absolutely fantastic. This is a really exciting time for mankind, and I know that it doesn't really feel like it at the moment. We've been through a very challenging 3 years, but the one thing I've learned is that we have these extraordinary powers, and we are the 99%, and we can change the world. It only takes tiny, tiny little actions. And again, with Niraj, we talk about kind of meditation with breath work and connecting to each other and collective consciousness. I've also got a great podcast up as well with Dr. Catherine Clinton. Very funny story, actually. I filmed it, and it was most probably the best podcast I've done to date. And it felt like a girls' night in, chatting about all your favorite things, your grounding, your collective consciousness, easy water. Absolutely marvelous. We had such a laugh. And at the end, I realized that I hadn't actually pressed record, but it's fine. We've done it again. And I will get that out to you. And Dr. Catherine Clinton is also going to do a special little feature for my Rumble channel, where we will talk very, very honestly with you. So there's lots of really, really exciting stuff coming up. You know, the one thing I know is that we can do this together. And that if somebody had said to me 9 years ago that I would be where I am today, I would have said they were having a laugh. Um, you know, but I am here because I completely believed, totally believed with all of my heart that I could heal myself. There was no plan B. I was not going to fail at this. There's a little bit of the Lady M in me, and it was like, yeah, I'm going to do this. I'm going to heal. And I know that everybody can do this. You can't, what's the old saying? You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. Well, some of you might not be ready to drink yet, and that's absolutely fine. But, for anybody out there, if you're feeling unhappy in any shape or form, any way, any niggles with your health, then I would love you to come on this journey with me and join my community. Oh, so my Telegram channel will mainly be for my political beliefs. So, yep, if you want to come down the rabbit hole, then you can join me there. But if not, that's absolutely fine. Just come and do something for your health, anything, any little thing. So really massive thank you to all of you for being here for this short podcast today. If you want to make sure that we're always connected, please sign up to my webpage where you can find out exactly what I'm doing anytime. That will always be there. So phillyjlay.com, it'll be in the show notes. And while you're there, if you sign up, you could buy a copy of my book, The Natural Wellness Journal, a layperson's guide to your natural health systems, your very own NHS. That's where the saying comes from that's in the beginning of every podcast, because we do have our own NHS. In my book, I'm just going to show you. In my book, I am going to walk you through over 50 of the techniques that I use to heal. I start with my 6 daily essentials, and I make sure that I do at least 3 of those a day. And then we just go on a journey together. And there's journaling in there because that is a fantastic way of getting emotions out of your body. I'm a great, great supporter of journaling. And I ask you questions. We learn a bit about the science, but most importantly for me, and why I think I wrote the book above everything else, was to keep people connected. So in there, you will have links to podcasts, TED Talks, people's web pages, because it is really important, if you like somebody's work, to sign up to their newsletters, get the information, know where they are, and join any community that suits you. And one final piece of news that I am really, really excited about. To mark the 2nd year anniversary of my book on December the 21st, 2020, well, that's when I published the book. This year, in 2022, I am going to launch a video version of it. And it's called Your Natural Wellness Journey. It's a faster class into natural health, a masterclass made faster, because I know that you all have very busy lives. So come on, let's join together and have some fun. And I just want to say a massive, massive thank you, guys. Thank you so much for showing up today, for showing up for me, for showing up for you. I am eternally, eternally grateful that you let me get this content out. And if you've enjoyed these episodes, this episode, or any of the episodes on the podcast, please message me on my socials. So you'll find the link in the show notes. Tell me who you'd like to have on, what questions you'd like me to ask. I can't promise anything, obviously, but just let me know and I will do my best. And subscribe to the podcast, turn on your notifications, like, comment, and share. I can't tell you what a massive difference that makes for the algorithm so we can get this information out. So thank you. Thank you so much for showing up today. Have a wonderful day, evening, wherever you are, whatever part of the world you're in. And just remember, where you are now is not your final destination. The doctor of your future is you. Really, really is. We've got this. Thank you, guys. Goodbye.